What is up, InterWebs? Big Lou here, along with Matt, the Cutman, as always, and we are talking Sherlock, Season 4, Episode 2, The Lying Detective. And the plot, the game is on.
Yes,
and
indeed.
Oh boy, was it ever on last night. Sunday night. Whew, boy, we just going to dive right in here. This, to me, was... In seasons past, the second episode of the Sherlock series has usually been the weaker episode. Not the case this season. I loved this episode more so even than the Six Thatchers.
Whatever the if there was a problem with the Six Thatchers, this corrected it.
I absolutely agree.
Spades.
Yes. Yeah. Before we go any further, I do want to throw a shout out to my boy Noah, who last week in the comments called me out for not having known some of the actors' names. I have my list this week, my man. You threw me under the bus, calling me out. Good on ya. I got my list. We're not going to be having the same issues. So keeping me honest, keeping it real, appreciate that. So
that's why I have a computer.
Yes, that's why you have a computer. Well, my computer's over there. I do editing on it. So anyway, so there we go. We are Toby Jones as Culverton Smith.
Yeah.
Loved his villain. This is so creepy, so good.
Oh yeah, there was a definite creep factor, and I think maybe even in the direction of how it was shot, like real close ups.
Yes, showing the funky teeth that he had. It was great. I loved it.
Were those his teeth?
No, okay. He definitely had some prosthetics in there.
Because I definitely had to take a step back.
Oh yeah, no, it was one of those. Oh, why did I get the 70-inch TV? That's creepy. Yeah. So, but yeah, the
humble brag your TV.
Hey, that's what I do. So, but yeah, I mean, the writing in this episode. We were talking last week about how they do such a good job of taking you one direction for so long through the entire episode, and then at the very end, just whoop.
Yeah.
This one was not even just in one direction the whole episode. It was all over the damn place.
Yeah, the whole thing was a misdirection. It was a magic trick.
It absolutely was.
That was even the villain wasn't the villain.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, by the way.
Yeah, he was, but not.
But not the main who turned out to be the villain.
Yes.
Oh,
I mean, we'll get there.
We're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yes, and it's easy to do with this episode because it was so round and round and round. As far as just, I've never done cocaine before myself.
Don't lie.
But okay. But no, seriously, don't do drugs. You felt the way that this was shot and edited. And Benedict Cumberbatch's performance, you felt what he was going through, especially the scene at the beginning when he was swatting away the stuff that we see on screen.
Yeah,
with
his head's up thinking.
Yeah, and he was swatting it away like, don't bother me. I'm not, no, I don't want to do this. Which was the first time that we have, as an audience, kind of broken the fourth wall a little bit of us knowing that that's actually what he sees.
How he sees it.
Which is awesome to me. Anyway, I've been rambling on here just because it was so good. What are some of your other more cohesive thoughts on this episode? You had taken some dutiful notes.
Not only did I have some thought, I had some questions.
Very well. Fire away.
Okay, so was there someone? Did a girl actually come to his apartment?
Yeah.
And that person, we were led to believe, ended up being the sister.
Yes.
In disguise.
Yes.
But why would he still not recognize her?
That is one of the $64,000 questions.
That's what leads me to believe maybe she wasn't actually there. Maybe she just dropped hints to him and he's imagining the whole thing. Because his dealer in the kitchen, remember, opens up the door. He's like, who are you talking to?
Oh, it's true. And then Mrs. Hudson was he's like, I've got a friend with me. And she's like, what friend?
Yeah.
So maybe. I
And
don't know.
when he's walking around the city, they ask, is someone with him? And they're like, it's not clear.
They keep losing contact.
Yeah. And
which was
speaking
great,
of,
yeah.
The fuck off, that was hysterical.
How long are we going? Well, it's a really long word. What word? Balderdash or whatever the word was. Was it balderdash?
I thought it said fuck off.
No, that's what they spelled, and then later on they were like, it was like another word or whatever. Like, I want to know what the whole sentence was that he was spelling out in his head.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that was so that's really my question. What and at the end of the night or in the morning, you look over and there's nobody on the bench. So it leads me to believe that maybe she wasn't there in the cohesive way that we saw it.
Well, she had to be there at least in part because the note was there.
Yeah, so I'm thinking maybe she's just dropping clues and his brain is assembling them in the back of his mind, and that's the narrative it's telling him.
Could be.
Just a theory.
Yeah.
So.
And it also could be that, maybe it's just been so long since they'd seen each other that
True.
he didn't recognize her.
True. Yes. Eros.
Eros.
Good name.
Yes.
I like their parents' style.
Yeah. And what is Sharonford?
What the fuck is it? Or who is it?
Who or what or where?
Is it a thing, a person, a place?
We don't know.
We don't know.
We shall find out.
We're going to find out. I should probably mute that.
Yeah, probably be a good idea. But that's all right. That's all right. I didn't turn the air conditioner off, or the heater, I should say. It's cold for Florida today.
Production value, Lou.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm slack-a-lacking. Only running one big light.
So,
yeah, and Mrs. Hudson,
right?
turning all the crocodile tears for Watson when she gets there, driving around, doing the J turns around the corner in her in her friggin' whatever kind of car that was.
Aston Martin.
Thank you very much. I'm not a car guy, so
Aston Martin.
Thank you.
It's James Bond's car.
Of course it was. I know Aston Martin. I can't. If it had run me over, I still would have gone. What the fuck was that?
So the bit towards the beginning of him knowing that where he's going to need to be in 2 weeks
Was awesome.
Pure Sherlock.
Was awesome.
That was 100% Sherlock.
And when he looked at Watson and said, "Remember this moment."
Right.
In an hour or two when you think I'm crazy, so that you know I'm not crazy.
So Machiavellian. And I love the bit where John gets real mad about it, and Sherlock goes, "Oh, you're not going to like this." And the doorbell rings, and it's Molly.
It's Molly.
Yeah.
Friggin' great.
Good stuff.
Speaking of, not necessarily Machiavellian, but just other psychoses, John's dealing with the grief of losing Mary in seeing her and talking to her throughout the episode. I loved how they dealt with that. It was done so well throughout the course of the episode, and how she kept calling him on it. It was like, well, you're still talking to yourself.
Yeah.
I'm not here.
Yeah.
So
you're disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Very good.
You know you're right because I'm not here.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Another question. I guess it was edited for America. And now it's ringing.
There it is.
I guess so. What words were dropped out? I couldn't make out what they were supposed to be. I thought they said cunt or something at one point.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely was edited for PBS because that's where it's aired here in the U.S. But I guess when it comes on Netflix, we'll be able to figure that out.
Yeah.
But so some of you boys over in the UK, let us know what they actually said.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was definitely some editing that was done.
I thought it was my TV, and then when I watched it the second time, it dropped out in the same spot. I'm like, what the fuck are they saying?
Yeah. No, I caught the same thing in a couple of places.
Yeah.
So, but which is unfortunate. See, it's one of those. I knew I just should have bought the season pass and watched it on iTunes, but I didn't know if I had done that, because a lot of times with iTunes, if you do that, you won't be able to watch that episode until the next day.
Right, and I need my Sherlock right now.
That's correct. So, but was there anything about this episode that you felt they could have done better or that you did not like?
Okay. And we're getting into nitpickery here.
Naturally.
This is the show. We don't really see Culverton's actual killing.
Right.
We don't see him being the crazy menace that we would normally get to see. We saw Moriarty being a crazy madman.
Andrew Scott as Moriarty.
Oh man.
On my list,
Absolutely.
By the way. He, to me, Toby Jones as Culverton was awesome. Mm-hmm. Andrew Scott as Moriarty is still probably one of my favorite villains
one of
all time on any television show.
Indeed.
But
we don't actually get to see Sherlock solving his going one-on-one with Toby Jones' character, with Culverton. That was just really the only thing that I wish they could have explored. But I mean, you got a lot to cram into an hour and a half.
Well, and at the end of the day, we got to also remember that this episode was not about him solving that crime.
Right.
It was about him repairing his relationship with Watson.
Yeah, and in the end, he wasn't the villain anyway, but I still would have liked to see the two of them go at it.
Yeah, I can totally understand that. And were you thrown at all by the different actresses when we saw the character of the daughter in the conference room scene where Culverton gives him the drug and he kind of comforts her, mm-hmm. and then we see her again in
Sherlock's apartment.
In Sherlock's apartment. Did you recognize them as two different actresses,
No.
or did you? I didn't either.
Yeah, not at all.
I recognized that she had a different look, but I just assumed that it was because time had passed.
Sure, and Sherlock even calls it out.
Yeah.
Like, oh, your roots are showing, or something along those
lines.
Yeah.
So,
but no, I did not. It was just, generic, pleasant-looking woman.
Yeah. Now, were you able to put it together after having seen it that the therapist and the fake Faith that he went on the walk with and Watson's little slut bag were all the same woman?
When she was starting her unusual questioning, I'm like, what is going on here?
Yeah.
I knew something was up, but it was not something that I got out ahead on. It completely caught me by surprise.
I still didn't believe it was all the same actress until I went back and looked at the picture side by side. I was like, damn, that woman's a chameleon.
Yeah.
And her name is Cyanne Brooke. And she's credited in the show, in IMDb, as playing the character of Elizabeth, who is the woman that we saw in Six Thatchers that John meets on the bus.
Right.
And she never actually says her name. No. I don't think. He just writes it on the paper. So if you're not reading what she actually writes, and you don't know that that's her name.
Right.
So it'll be very, very interesting to see what happens next week.
Next week, indeed. And now that really begs the question, will this be the last Sherlock we get?
It can't be.
They have not said that they're going to be doing more, and these are two of the most in-demand actors on the planet.
That's true, but, I've got to believe that... I read some of the statistics of the numbers that this put out last week. Mm-hmm. Almost 9 million views, or households, ratings in the UK.
Wow.
Last week. Now, that's still down from, the season premiere of season 3, which was, 12. Mm-hmm. But still, that's huge numbers.
Yeah.
For the UK. I say that's huge numbers for the UK. I don't know what their ratings are like, but comparably to numbers in the US, I mean, that's
still big. I think that's, it's not like Walking Dead numbers, but it's pretty big.
Yeah. So I would hope that they would find a way to make that work. if for no other reason, then if this is not tied in any way to the Moriarty storyline, if in fact we don't get Moriarty next week, that we come back and we do get a final resolution with Moriarty.
I think she's tied in somehow.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I was so waiting for, as she was taking out the contact lenses, I was waiting for that wig and the makeup to come off and have it be Moriarty there under the makeup. But alas, that was not the case. But so,
well, I'm looking forward to seeing how they wrap up at least the season or series.
Yeah. So, any dare we wager a prediction for next week's episode is called, you've got it right here, just hit your little back button there, you can see.
It's called The Final Solution, I think, or
the final problem, which is a throwback to
the stories.
Yeah.
But in the final problem in the stories, that's when Sherlock and
Moriarty
go over the falls,
which we've already seen.
Right.
We've already seen the storyline of that in the one where they're on the roof, and we've already seen it in. They actually go over the falls in the Abominable Bride.
Right.
Not to be confused with the Abdominal Bride, which is a very different movie.
Shouldn't be watching those kind of movies late at night. Man.
Hey, sometimes you can't sleep. You've had a little bit too much something.
Do what you got to do.
Anyway, one of our other commenters last week, Allie, throwing a shout out to you, my dear, noticed that we didn't mention anything about the tag on last week's show, which was just Mary saying, "Go to hell, Sherlock," which we didn't comment on.
Right.
And it turns out we don't need to because we figured out exactly what she was talking about. And
sure.
I don't know about you, but I watched all the way through going up into the next show, seeing if there was going to be a tag for next week's show, and there wasn't, which kind of disappointed me. So the only cliffhanger we got was her firing the gun, and then we go right into the preview, and, well, there's Watson walking around. Which,
slightly anticlimactic.
Yeah.
No holes in his face.
Slightly anticlimactic. I hate when they do cliffhangers like that, and it's clearly not going to be anything significant, but what are you going to do? So, anyway, well, folks, that is going to wrap up our recap and review of... Was there anything that we missed that you wanted to talk about this? I mean, there was so much that happened in this episode.
There was one thing that I read on one of the boards that apparently Eros means east wind. They were Eros being the sister, and in one of the previous episodes, I think it was The Last Vow, Sherlock tells a story of when he and Mycroft were kids. Mycroft used to terrorize him with a story of the east wind.
Interesting.
So, what is that really? Is it really the sister terrorizing him? Is she just horribly scary? She seems to be.
Yeah.
How is that going to tie in?
I also read something. Do you think there's the possibility that they could be twins, fraternal twins?
Sherlock and Eros?
Yeah.
Possibly.
Because earlier in the Six Thatchers, when they were going back and forth, and this is not the first time he's mentioned it, John has said, well, what if it's, and he cuts him off, it's never twins. It's not the first time they've made reference to Sherlock, it's never twins.
Right. And Mycroft is always saying the other one.
Yeah. So saying the other one, meaning could there be a fourth sibling, and Eros is the sister, and Sherringford is the third brother?
Stay tuned.
We shall see. Answers shall be revealed next week.
They shall be revealed when you are ready to see them.
I'm ready to see them now.
You'll have to wait.
Motherfucker. Anyway, that's going to do it for us. Let us know what your thoughts are down in the comments below. Chime in. If you have any questions for us that you would like us to give our opinions on, you can leave them down in the comments. You can tweet to us just at the InterWebs Show. And until then, we will see you on the interwebs.
I'm not wearing pants.
He's not. It's really awkward.